Morning. My name is Derrick Harris. I'm the commander of the Specialized Patrol Division. Matthew Rittner was part of the Tactical Enforcement Unit housed at the Specialized Patrol Division. Before I begin with my remarks, I would like to read from the desk of the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, dated February 13th, 2019. Dear Caroline, I know there are no words I can say to ease the pain of your loss. As a Marine, a Milwaukee policeman, a husband, and as a father, I believe Matthew intuitively knew the joy and sense of purpose that only comes from great challenges and subordination to causes greater than self. Matthew served his community and his country with honor, courage, and commitment. He knew what it meant to keep company with America's finest and most dedicated. He was a leader among them and was trusted with their lives. For that, we thank you. I hope that you can take comfort in knowing that while Matthew's service to his Corps had an end, his place in our history and our hearts never will. As he was part of our family, so are you and your young son. My wife, Andrea, and I send our thoughts and prayers to you and your family at this difficult time. Semper Fidelis, Ronald L. Green, 18th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Caroline, there's nothing I can say that can ease the pain of losing a husband or to Kent, the loss of a father. A week ago today, Matt was taken away from us while doing one of the most dangerous jobs in law enforcement, a job he loved. Matt and his teammates left that day like they do every day, prepared, ready. They are armed professionals. When police need help or a situation is extremely dangerous, the men and women sitting right there are called upon. They're called to deal with any situation that arises. The city depends on them. The department depends on them. I depend on them. In my law enforcement career, I have not been around a more mission-driven, dedicated, and close-knit unit. There's no task or mission that I've ever given them that they didn't handle with tact and professionalism. It's no easy task to get a call in the middle of the night, to leave the warmth of your loved one's embrace, knowing you're going to deal with something bad. They do this as a matter of routine. Thank you. Now today, on Matt's birthday, we sit here with heavy hearts, trying to make sense of this. I can tell you this, it doesn't make sense. It's not right. I've shed so many tears that I started to think, am I weak for letting my emotions get a hold of me, or if there's something wrong with me? Every time I look at this picture, or remember the picture of him in his living room holding his son upside down, I get choked up. I say to myself, I do talk to myself a lot, but that's another issue. I say, I'm a Marine. Marines don't cry. I'm the commander. I can't let my people see me cry. But I realize something, that's not the case. I cry because I care about the men and women that work for me. They cry because they care about each other. And we cry because Matt was our brother, and his loss has left a huge void for each and every one of us at SPD. That old building over there on Valise Street, our home away from home, will never be the same without Matt. Ronald Reagan once said that some people wonder all their lives if they made a difference. The Marines don't have that problem. Matthew J. Rittner, the Marine, the tactical operator, our brother, doesn't have that problem. He made a difference. What words do you say about a man who says so few? Father, brother, son, Marine, our teammate. To us, Matt was strong, able-bodied, willing, and tenacious. Matt was resourceful and always had that distinctive smile on his face. Teammates recall that when Matt felt the time was right, he would share a glimpse of his life with you, whether it be stories about his son or his time in the Marines, or the stories we all grew to love to hate about his time in District 4. District 4 was the place in the city that Matt knew best. Teammates remember Matt as a man who loved to participate in all fantasy sports leagues, and he would play cell phone games until his phone died. We all know his love for the home team, the Milwaukee Brewers. We will all miss Matt, the distinctive laugh and smile that followed. Matt was an honest person. He would not speak ill will of his worst enemy. Matt was on time most of the time, even when he showed up for his regularly scheduled off days. Matt was always willing to work with anyone and accept the task put in front of him. His teammates remember the first time he was asked to lead the team into a house on the warrant, and he grinned with his trademark smile and said, "You have to rip the Band-Aid off sometime." Matthew was humble, a Marine and a tactical enforcement officer. His service to this country and the city was exemplary. On a routine basis, Matt put his life on the line for us and always did it with a smile on his face. Last week, Matt's Marines brothers stopped by our building and they were able to share stories of the bravery he showed in 2 tours of combat. They shared stories of Matt being engaged in a 4-hour firefight in the Sunni Triangle that was nicknamed the Triangle of Death. They shared photos with us of him being deployed. There was one constant theme through all the photos. He had a smile on his face. Matthew Rittner made a difference. Kent, I want to personally tell you, your dad was a true American hero, and I know that he is looking down on you. They say time heals all wounds, but time doesn't remove the scars. Time doesn't remove the hurt. Caroline, I want you to know you're not alone. We will begin to heal with you. You will always have the Specialized Patrol Division, the Tactical Enforcement Unit, the United States Marine Corps as your brothers and sisters. John chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. We will miss you, Matt, and we'll always remember you. Semper Fi.